how's it going? I am Jay Young, and I am doing a video for The Fracture. This is our channel, and we just wanted to give you guys a little idea about what we're doing and a little insight into the record that's coming out soon. So today, what I'm going to be talking about is I wanted to go through the guitars that I used on this album. So we are going to get into that, so thank you for tuning in, and if you guys have any questions about anything, definitely leave them in the comments. I'd be super happy to talk about that. It's always really fun for me and Jordan to just really geek out on gear. It's a huge part of what we do, being musicians for as long as we have been. It just becomes a big part of who you are and how you identify, the instruments that you play and the choices that you make. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Okay, so we're going to start off with what is my main guitar these days. It's been kind of an evolution throughout the recording of this album since we started it over a year ago. But this is the main guitar I'm using these days. This is a Squier Telecaster from their Classic Vibe series. This particular line of guitars has gotten huge praise. If you talk to anybody who plays who has played these Squier guitars, everybody loves them, and I researched it, I looked into it a ton, and for the value, this rates way up there with any of Fender's current stuff of the same type, and I love it. It's been perfect for me. I've always been a sucker for burst guitars. Only changes that I've made, it has a stock pickup still in it. This pickguard was white. I actually rattle canned it with like a gloss enamel. I rattle canned it black. What other changes did I make? It's kind of hard to see, but normally on a Tele, this switch is straight up and down, but I changed it out for one that is slightly, has an angle on it. Just because it lets me get my finger in there between the volume knob and the selector to really do what I need to do, and I'm used to playing Strats, and so this has been a huge deal for me to have that. I'm not crazy about this neck pickup, but it does something that I can't quite put my finger on, and I'm starting to like it. It's a little too muddy at times, but I'm starting to like it. I have absolutely no plans to change out this bridge pickup. The stock pickup here is fantastic. I absolutely love it. But this guitar has been great. It's a huge changeover going from humbucker guitars, and especially a Strat, where I have the option of a humbucker in the bridge and my single coils. This, I thought it was going to be a big changeover, but there is something about this guitar that I absolutely love. There's one thing that I've heard people say about Teles, and I've come to understand it completely, is that they sound like what a guitar is supposed to sound like, and I totally understand that now. It's taken me a long time to figure it out, but I have definitely become a convert, and yeah, this is definitely, for I would say 80% of what I do, this is it right here. The next guitar we're going to talk about, this has been this is my Strat. It's not a real Strat. I'm going to say that right out of the gate. This was a Yamaha Pacifica, which in my opinion is one of the best Strat copies you can get out there, short of maybe the G&L stuff. But I absolutely love this guitar, and I have a lot of history, and this guitar is very important to me personally. I put a lot of work into it and made a ton of changes. When this guitar came to me, it was black body, white pickguard, and it was completely trashed. Honestly, the story is that somebody from my old job that I was at actually pulled it out of a trash can or something at a house that they were cleaning, and gave it to me. Said, "Here you go, here's a guitar." It was trashed. The whole fretboard had Sharpie marker all over it. The whole pickguard had Sharpie all over it. Somebody had clearly abused it. But the thing played amazing right from the very first time I picked it up, and I haven't done a whole lot. In fact, it's never had a professional setup, and it does not need it. It's always intonated nearly perfectly, and which is rare for a guitar, but I absolutely love it. I've done a ton of stuff to it. I've changed out the pickups. This is a custom 59 Seymour Duncan in the bridge, which I absolutely love. This is a great pickup. The reason why I love it is because I put a coil tap, it's a push-pull pot in the volume, so I can run it as a single coil or as a double coil humbucker, which is usually how I run it. But the single coil setting in this, it sounds absolutely amazing. It does not take away from any of the stratiness of this guitar, which is what I wanted. It's the stock middle pickup, which is fine, and it pairs well in the whatever these in between settings are, position 2 and position 4. It pairs well with the other pickups, so I left it, and I never play on them just the middle pickup anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter to me. But this bridge pickup is a DiMarzio area pickup. I think it's like an Area 61 or something like that, and it's great for a bridge pickup. This thing definitely gets it done. Other things I've done, I never run a tremolo bar in the bridge. In fact, I have it slammed down tight to the body, and it's blocked in the back. I wrapped a 9-volt battery in masking tape and put a couple wood shims in there, so this does nothing. When you play a Strat, if you were just to mute the strings and kind of tonk it, you're always going to get spring noise, which is fine unless you're playing really heavy music and you have a noise gate on where you want absolutely nothing in between the notes. You will hear these springs, which is why I have foam in between them. And the other thing I did is I've got one of these fret wraps, which stays up here, just because you also get weird overtones and undertones that come out from that, and this kind of stops that. So that always stays up there. Outside of that, I stripped the whole thing down. This is a wood, it's like a wood stain. It's a wood dye, actually. I got it down to raw wood, and I use this wood dye, and then the finish on it is actually a gun stock oil. And over the time I've had it, you can kind of see it kind of picks up different sheens and different textures where on the body. And it's really weathered really well, and I love it. The pick guard is a stock pick guard, and I sprayed it with a flat spray paint, and it's doing the same thing. There's a couple areas where I play the most. It's kind of hard to see it in the light, but where I play the most, it's just getting a really cool wear and patina to it, which is why I love it. This guitar sounds amazing. About half the album is using this guitar, and half the album is with the Telly. But this thing has an amazing sound. It is by far one of the toughest and meanest sounding Strats I've ever played. Strats have a tendency to be a little, for me, a little too, they can be a little wimpy sometimes. But this guitar absolutely slays. I do everything on this guitar. When I want to do heavy riffs, this is a guitar I go to, but it also has amazing clean tones. It's really punchy. And these pickups absolutely cut through everything, and I just love it. This will be in my arsenal for a very long time, and it's great. So next up is my bass. This is my bass guitar. Again, you will be noticing a kind of theme that I have with my guitars. I really like cheap guitars, and I really like taking time to customize them, make them my own. This is an off-brand called SX. They're kind of hard to find now, but they are great knockoff guitars. I don't even know how else to say it. I believe they're made in Indonesia, but as far as a guitar that is a fantastic platform to modify, these things are amazing if you can still find them. And I've done a ton of stuff to this like I usually do with my guitars. The entire thing has been gutted. Did new shielding in the cavity, and new pickups. These are Seymour Duncan quarter pounders. Evan Woolley turned me onto these, and these things are amazing. There's a certain amount of, they just compress your tone, and it's just really punchy, and it's got a really good mix of like the extreme lows, but also there's a lot of highs that come out on this guitar. That I love, because I play with a pick a lot, and that attack is really important to me. The tone knob is completely bypassed, which is something I generally do with my bass guitars, just because I do like a brighter tone. What that does is it takes that out of the circuit and just makes the overall signal more direct and as a result brighter. So this really works well for me. And again, I love burst guitars, and this thing is just perfect for me. So last up, what we've got is my acoustic that appears on 2 different tracks on the album. And this is something I plan to use more on the upcoming Fracture stuff. When doing things that are a little more electronic, a lot of sampled drums, a lot of electronic drums, putting an acoustic underneath it has a real nice way of just bringing things back to a more organic tone. And I really love combining those sounds. What this is an Ibanez acoustic. It's from a series they did called the Artwood series. So it's an Ibanez Artwood acoustic, and it's a zebra wood top. And I just love this thing. It's got a really cool sound. It's very unique, and it's a huge body on this thing. It's actually really uncomfortable to play. It's actually way too big for me. But there is a particular sound that comes from this thing that I just could not find in any other guitar. And I really like it a lot, and you'll be able to hear it on the album featured on 2 different tracks, and in future stuff you'll be definitely hearing a lot more of it as well. So that's it for today. In this video, I just wanted to take you guys for a quick walk through some of the guitars that I used on the upcoming Fracture album that we're calling Signaling. And it is going to be out at the end of the summer. And we really hope you guys like it. Jordan and I have put an incredible amount of work into it. I would not by any means call it a quarantine album, but it certainly did start during the first stages of quarantine, and it grew out of that time, and all of my creative energy has really been dumped into it, and I know Jordan's has as well. So we're really excited to have everybody listen to it and see what you guys think. We're really proud of it. And I really do think that that you're going to enjoy it. So just wanted to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes about some of the instruments that I used, specifically guitars and basses on this album. And I know Jordan's going to do a video too, so excited to get this out for you and just see what you think. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys next time.